Hey everyone, Dr. B here. Thanks for tuning in. Wanted to talk to you guys today about the love-hate dynamics that exist with family and as much as we love them, how they can often drive us crazy and be a big trigger for us, especially in early recovery. One of my favorite quotes is, if you think you're enlightened, go spend a week with your family. Basically indicating, that all of us have, kind of buttons that we push with our family and, kind of this dance that we do, that's been around for a long, long time, and it's going to be there for a long, long time until we really make an effort to become aware of it, to understand it, and to start changing the steps ourselves, because the likelihood of our family changing are probably slim to none. And one of the biggest problems that I've noticed is that when people leave treatment, after coming into residential treatment and they go back home, they've been doing a lot of work on themselves, but the family has been going about the same old routines and patterns, and they're not changing or doing any work on themselves. So, the likelihood of them changing again is slim to none. So, how to handle them when you get out of treatment, is a big question. And really, there's a couple things you want to pay attention to. One is just you really want to limit, your time with them, Again, as much as we love family, they can drive us crazy. So really limit your time with them. Instead of going to spend, kind of a weekend with them or a night with them, get together for lunch, or dinner, bookend your time with them. So, you have lunch with them, but then you have a meeting right afterwards, or you're getting together with a sober buddy or a companion, accountability partner right afterwards, where you can then vent, with them and kind of blow off steam, or, do an activity afterwards where you can kind of let go of that pent up, anxiety, frustration, or whatever is there, and kind of release it after spending time with them. You also want to become better at boundaries, setting boundaries with your loved ones, family, and and saying no. No can be a kind of a powerful phrase that a lot of times people who struggle with addiction just feel bad about using. One of the other things I've noticed about working, with drug and alcohol addiction are people who struggle with drug and alcohol addiction tend to be hypersensitive individuals who really care a lot about other people and have a big problem saying no when it comes to others, that they're always pushing down their needs and what their desires are, or suppressing their needs at the expense of others. And in doing so, then, kind of really have some pent up anger, frustration that builds, and then they use drugs or alcohol almost as a way to get back at that person. But of course, we're only hurting ourselves. So really starting to work on boundaries, and become better at setting and holding boundaries, saying no, or, or not picking up the phone, or saying, that I only have 10 minutes to talk, when a family member calls, and then, say, I'll call you later. And then, managing expectations again, that, if they're not in their own therapy or doing their own work, the likelihood of them changing is slim to none. So you got to become aware of what your dance is within the dynamic and start to notice how, you feed into the old patterns. And if you react the same way, getting defensive and agitated and raising your voice, that it's just going to create the same patterns and dynamics that have always existed. So, we've always said it takes two to tango, right, when it comes to a relationship. And what we're finding is that actually that's not the case. It only takes one person to stop doing the old dance that we're used to doing. And at first, it's going to kind of throw the other person for a loop and wonder, okay, why aren't they doing that same pattern that, we usually do? And at first, they might actually, double down and start to, engage in the dance or pattern more intensely or powerfully. And so you just got to be aware of that. That will likely happen until you continue to, stop the dance and change up the dance, and act towards them in a different, more healthy way, with assertive communication, with boundaries, and holding that line and taking care of yourself. And you'll find over time that they will start to kind of not feed into the dance themselves, and that you will start to see a shift. But you got to take care of yourself and be, assertive with your communication and your boundaries. Hope that's been helpful. As always, send me any questions or topics you'd like me to address or discuss further in future videos. Thanks for your time. Take care of yourself and others. Peace and love.